the weight WkG of a metal varies jointly as its length, x meters, and the square of its diameter, y millimeter. If W equals to 140 and y equals to 4 and x equals to 54, find y in terms of W and x. Now let's solve this problem. Solution. Now, going back to the first statement, the weight Wkg of a metal varies jointly as its length x. So jointly as its length s. Length s. And the square of its diameter varies jointly as its length x, and the square of its diameter also. That is, now from this question, it means that W varies directly as x, and also varies directly as the square of its diameter. And now, what is the diameter? Is y. And the square of the diameter is going to be what? Y squared. That's it. That will be the square of the diameter. So it means that x, y squared. So it means that W varies as xy squared now. That is the interpretation of the first part of this question, which is very important. Now, for the next thing for us to do is to change this expression that we are having here, this relationship, to an equation. And how do we do that? We introduce the constant of variation. So it means that W equals to what? Kxy squared. Now, from what we have here, if W equals to 140, that is given equals to 140 when what? When x is 54 and y equals what? 4. So in this case, we now have W equals to 140. Anyway, see W, we put 140 is equals to K into what? What do we have as x? Anyway, we see s, we replace it with what? 5. Then multiply by what? Y squared. What is y? 4. So we have 4 squared. So here we have 140 is equals to what? What do we have? 4 squared is what? 16. So that means we have 5k here. 5k multiplied by 4 squared, which is 16. So from here, what are we having? We can now simplify further. So in this case, we have 140 is equals to 16 into 5 into k. So we can, from here, we can divide both sides by 16 into 5. Because this will help us. Instead of multiplying this together, it's better to leave it like this, so that by the time you want to simplify further, it will be very easy for you. So dividing both sides by 16 into 5. Dividing both sides by 16 into 5. What do we have? So we have 16 into 5 k divided by 16 into 5. Now dividing both sides by this, it means that what? 5 will go with 5, then 16 will go with 16. So what do we have from here? It means that we have 140 divided by 16 into 5. Now, we need to know how many 5 are we going to see in 140. So in this case, we know that 5 in 14, what do we have? 5 in 14, we have 2, remainder 4. And 5 in 40, what do we have? 5 in 40, we have 8. So it means that 140 divided by 5 is going to be what? 28. So 5 here 1, 5 in 140 is going to be 28. So it means that we now have 28 divided by 16 to be equals to what? K. We can simplify this further. How do we simplify further? We look for a number that can divide both 28 and 16. And that number we can use, instead of using 2, let's use a larger number. Let's say 4. Let's use 4. 16 divided by 4, what do we have? 4. And 28 divided by 4, we have what? 7. So we have K to be equals to 7 divided by 4. K equals to 7 divided by 4. Since the value of K is equals to 7 divided by 4. So we can now write the relationship between Wx and y. Writing the relation between Wx and y, what do we have? Relationship between Wx and y. We write the relation between Wx and y. It means that from here, what do we have? W equals to what? Look at W equals to kxy squared. Meaning that what? Anywhere we see k, we put 7 over 4 here. So 7 divided by 4 x y squared. So this is the relationship connecting w, x, and y squared. Now, from this question, what are we asked to do? We're asked to find y in terms of w and x. Now, you can see at the left-hand side, we only have w. So we need to make y the subject of the formula. So what do we do from here? We cross multiply. By cross multiply, if you cross multiply, what do we have? It means w times 4, we have 4w is equals to what? What do we have? 7xy squared times 1. 7xy squared times 1. So we have 7sy squared. Now, don't forget we want to make y the subject of the formula because you have to find y in terms of w and x. So to make y the subject of the formula, what do we do? We divide both sides by the coefficient of this y squared. And what is the coefficient of y squared here? That's 7x. So we say divide both sides by 7x, then we have 7xy squared divided by 7x. So 7x here go here, 7x here 1 also. So from here we have y squared. Y squared is equals to what? We have it to be 4w divided by what? 7x. Y squared is 4w divided by 7x. Now, we are asked to find y in terms of w and x. This is just y squared. So for you to remove square, for you to remove the 2 as a power of this, as a power to this y rather, which is equal to 4w divided by 7x. It means we need to take the square root of both sides. We take square root of both sides. So by taking the square root of both sides, what do we have? Square root of y squared will be equal to what? Square root of 4w divided by 7x. So these two will go with the square root. That's the meaning. Square root of y squared is y. So y will be equal to what? Square root of. Now looking at what we have here, we can simplify further because this 4 is inside the square root. And what is the square root of 4? Square root of 4 is 2. So we can write 2 outside. But w, we don't know the w. W is just a variable here. So we don't know the value. So w will still have square root. So we have 2 square root of w divided by what? Divided by square root of 7x. Nevertheless, we can write everything as y equals to what? Since only 2 is outside, we can write y equals to 2 square root of what? Square root of w divided by 7x. So now we can see that y is now a function of w and x, meaning that we have already made y to be in terms of W, and X. And that is the solution to the question. Thank you.